Now recently I saw this interesting picture of a wing that belongs to a 747 and something is not quite right. See, normally there are supposed to be 2 engines on the wing and there's one missing. Everybody, today, let's talk about the fact that the 747 really only needs 3 engines to fly legally. You know, it's funny because a year ago we talked about the 747 that can fly with 5 engines. Yes, everybody. For airlines, one very bad thing that can happen is an engine failure, because even after a safe landing, your airplane will be stranded somewhere at a random airport, this is Honolulu, where they sometimes might not even have your replacement engine in storage. Oftentimes, in fact. So as an airline, you have to go out of your way to somehow transport that missing engine to the airport, or somehow try to find a way to bring the broken airplane to a nearby maintenance center. Now, if you're on like an A350 and you're at Honolulu Airport and you miss one engine, then you're in lots of trouble. You'd have to somehow find a way to transport that huge engine to over there. But once again, on a 747, not really an issue. Now, you may know the very ancient Kalitta Airlines, a cargo airlines which has been operating since the 1960s. They're very much known for their American International Airways 747. Something as weird though is, of course, that this is a cargo-only airline, but they have passenger windows. But it turns out that after this 747-132 flew for Delta Airline from 1971 till 1977, it was converted to an F variant. Practically, they got rid of all the seats to be able to put cargo in there, while interestingly maintaining the windows, of course. And this is what the plane would look like. They occasionally did that. Anyway, the very 747 that we see in this picture was a very unlucky one because it had to fly with 3 hanging engines twice over the course of 20 years. Everybody, yes. Now in this picture, it's 1997, and this very situation that we're talking about happened. A crack was found in an engine mount, and there were no spares to repair this engine mount problem. So what they did, because they knew the engine would eventually probably fall off, is just remove the entire engine number 3 and decided to fly on 3 engines. Now we're in Honolulu. We're quite far away from US mainland, and it was super surprising which route they take, because they flew all the way from Hawaii to Michigan on this airplane, a flight that would normally take 8 hours. Now, I don't even dare to do this whole route, but I just want to find out, how does a plane fly? I mean, we've completely simulated this now. Let's take a look. All right, so let's turn on this airplane now. And while the 747 is not really known as a simple airplane, yeah, that's all. I have no idea what I'm doing. Turn on the APU. That's at least an engine that still is attached and works. God damn it. Okay, we can see that spool up, and we can definitely hear that spool up as well. No trouble. So let's turn on the APU generator. Look at that. This is a very realistic airplane for the X-Plane flight sim. All right, let's see. Bleed air. Turn on the boost pumps here, so we can just start these engines up, to be honest. Well, 3 of them anyway. These engines for ready engine starts, so all is fine. Look at this. Something is turning on. Yes, engine number 2 is being started. Wonderful. Okay, doesn't really show here. That's weird. Let's go and get some fuel in there. Yes, look at that. Okay, let's turn on engine number 1. Great.
Start helm over. Engine stabilized.
Why does it have an accent? Anyway, look at that. Great. So let's put in some fuel. Wonderful. Let's turn on engine number 4 here. Okay, starting engine 4 is fine. Look at that. Wonderful. You can see N2 coming up. Now we don't even have to bother starting engine number 3. Right? But I think it's loud! But I think the engineering of this interests me. I mean, of course, they had to like somehow stuff the fuel line so that there isn't any fuel leaking. That would be very awkward, wouldn't it? All right, let's go ahead and get the 4th engine started. That's all we got. That's all we need to fly, apparently. So let's go ahead and start a little bit by doing a little bit of taxi tests. Yeah, let's use the generators. Now that one doesn't really work. The 3rd engine not really providing a lot of power. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and reverse now out of this parking spot and see how all this works. Yes, how does our thrust asymmetry work? Oh, we've got quite a lot of thrust asymmetry. Oh, we have to kind of steer against that a little bit. Right? I mean, after all, talking about performance in itself, we don't really struggle too much. After all, this is a ferry flight. We only have a broken engine on board our airplane. Other than that, there's nothing on board our plane. And this is an empty cargo plane, so performance is not that much of an issue, but I wonder how aerodynamics will turn out. Of course, I've simulated this. We've got a proper big engine missing. So there's not only asymmetrical thrust we have, it's also asymmetrical airflow we got. So this makes this flight very interesting indeed. Either way, we're now on the runway. Let's go and put the flaps down to like a takeoff position, maybe like flaps something, I can't see it. Flaps 10 is fine. We now want the spoilers gone, and let's talk about the procedure of taking off with only 3 of 4 engines. Now, of course, it's logical. You get the, non-symmetrical engines to go full power first, right there, just to make sure that you don't have any thrust asymmetry here on takeoff. Now, taking off with only 2 out of 4 engines obviously doesn't make too much sense, so what we're going to slowly do is advance throttle on engine number 2. Kind of like that here. Kind of like make, oh, that was a bit fast. That is probably gonna end. Okay, we have to very heavily steer against this now. I'm fully steered, I'm fully locked in, but with enough, okay, I have to apply full braking for this not to run off the runway. Actually, that's pretty dumb. Okay, I put too much power into the second engine and it's pushing the airplane to the right. Stop. God, this airplane is loud as well, even though it's only 3/4 loud. Okay, we've got a bunch of alarms playing here in the background. I just want you to go faster, and as you go faster, you gain more control over this yaw problem. This is okay. 120 knots is fine. We want that. 130 knots is okay. Let's go and take off. Come on, you should do it. Please just take off now. No! We've killed everyone in the parking lot. Luckily, we're not Japanese. Also, why in the world are there are no buildings? Oh. After all, we didn't use the longest of runways at all. Let's try runway 08 right. We've got 3,000. Let's try the other runway, in fact. 3,700 meters of runway. That is plenty. All right, let's do it. So, full at this point, it doesn't really matter. Let's just try to somehow give in some power here. You can see all the engines spooling up a little bit. We have to prepare to... Oh, God, this thing just wants to go to the right. Okay, never mind. We're gonna do it carefully then. Normal engines, full power. Okay, and then we can slowly, very slowly and carefully add in engine number 2, which still works, okay? Because as we are faster, our rudder gets more dominance and more control. Okay, this time around, we have got plenty of runway, so no trouble there. We just want to take off at some point, okay? All right, give in now a little bit of... Let's go full power on all those engines here. This should work a little bit better now. Oh, maybe not that much power. Okay, looking good. We're now at 140 knots. Things are finally looking fine. Funnily enough, let's not leave the runway. Oh, come on, I want you to go full power. I want you to leave the runway. There's no way. Okay, take off. Don't you dare. Holy moly, we've nearly died, but only nearly, really. This has gone very poorly, Jesus Christ. Although we've got enough speed, we're at 200 knots now. We can finally climb now out of this airport using 3 engines. God, the scenery looks miserable. Okay, flaps up, nothing to worry. Let's put the landing gear up, Jesus Christ. Now the question really is, how does this plane fly? Of course, it flies a little bit weird. It's as though you have a little bit of crosswind going on. You know what I mean? It's kind of like drifting in the air and stuff. Let's not stall out, by the way. But let's see how the autopilot copes with this, because we do have to steer to the left quite a bit in order to stay straight, especially when these engines are running at so much power. Shut up with your terrain warning. Like, this is when I get let go of the yoke. This happens. So we don't want that to happen. Let's go and turn on the autopilot now. There's a lot of autopiloting going on. Yeah, in order to fly straight, you have to hold the yoke quite a bit far to the left. But other than that, this works. Now, what I want to see is how high can we fly? After all, this flight to Michigan would have taken now around about 8 hours plus. I'm sure you wouldn't fly halfway across the Pacific at 12,000 feet. Let's see how high we can fly, genuinely. Okay, let's somehow set a heading to the U.S. main coast, which is probably a little bit here to the left. Let's see how really we can climb now. We're at 240 knots, and I'm trying my best to climb out of here, but it's taking quite a long time. We might want to speed up a little bit the simulator. These engines are still running at full power. Well, 3 of them at least. And I mean, isn't this an interesting look, my friends? It looks pretty much looks very identical to the picture. I'm a genius. I'm just not sure how... Look at the airplane having to steer here. Great stuff. Okay, meanwhile, we're climbing at a mere 100 feet per minute, and we can't really do any more because, despite those engines running at quite a lot of power, we're losing speed. We might want to try to spool them up a little bit. You have to be very careful, though, here. Look at me adjusting here. Make sure not to redline the engine and we have another failure. Now, sadly, I couldn't find out how high this plane actually flew in real life, but I can't imagine We've got stick shaker. We've got stick shaker. This thing isn't able to climb anymore at all. This is kind of all we got here. Oh, stop dying. No, don't you dare stall. Please maintain. Let's maintain 14,000 feet. And even though these engines are running at full power, really, we're not really able to get above maybe 250 knots or so. I mean, just look at the aerodynamic deficiency of having to always keep that yoke to the left here in order to fly properly. That's just insane. But now we're able to actually reach some speeds after a bit of a while here at 15,000 feet. But really, this is definitely not an overwhelming amount of performance we got here. This plane is a lot slower, and I guess it would have been scarier. I mean, what if one other engine failed? That'll be very scary. Let's not do that. Let me try to land this plane somewhere in the world. You know, after all, it's an interesting question. How do you land a broken airliner like this? I want more power. I want more power, but that's gonna mess us up a little bit. Once again, because we have, I'm gonna try to give it a little bit of reverse thrust here on this touchdown. Maybe this is gonna help us stop a little bit. Let's see. Okay, be very careful. Plane so far flies okay. Oh yeah, it's very interesting. Once you go idle power, how weird the plane behaves then. Anyway, let's do a smooth landing. After all, this is a bit of a butter machine. Oh, we can't do it. Oh, have we landed yet? Have we landed yet? I did it too smoothly. I need full power on all those engines. Come on, reverse thrust now. Yes, full braking power. And actually, this works. Reverse thrust is no problem. That's fine. That was the longest float in history, and we've landed safely. After all, a totally legal flight here, because the 747 is a plane that can fly of a free engine. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow as always. Good night. Oh, and just a side note, and once again, this very airplane in October 2004 had another issue, where literally the engine number 1 separated from the airplane during climb due to uncontained separation of a portion of the second stage turbine disc. Yes, it lost another engine, but this time it was the leftist. Great story there. Great luck there, 747. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow as always. Good night. And a special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters. Guns Killer, R27, James Duram, That Dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijitsu Finer, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.